Okay, here we are, starting another video. Today's gonna be kind of a cool one. We got the old sandblaster there. We're gonna sandblast some stuff on this cab. We're gonna see what's good, what's not. We already did some spot blasting on the bottom of the driver door. Both corners are pretty bad. Repairable, but I don't know. We might just put a different door on it. I've got lots of spare parts and it just saved me time and money. We're trying to do this thing on a budget. But as it sets for now, we're going to get the cab ready and we're going to put it outside, put it up on the blast, put it on sawhorses and start blasting it. And we're just going to do some spot blasting on it on the bottom side to see just the extent of exactly how bad things are going to be with it. And we're going to go from there. Like I said, we've got all kinds of sheet metal ordered for it. There's a few pieces that aren't ordered. I'm hoping that aren't terribly bad. I've got a couple donor cabs that I could take these pieces out of if need be. So we're kind of hoping we're going to go that route with it. But we're going to see. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off by pulling the back glass out before we sandblast. I don't want to mess that glass up. It's actually really good. We're probably going to put a 5% tint on that before we put it back in. I'm not going to worry about pulling the windshield out because the windshield's already cracked and all buggered up anyway, so I'm not overly concerned with that. So here we are. We're going to pull the back glass out real quick, and then we're going to get the cab all situated around and get it outside so we can start some blasting on it. And like that, the glass is out. Probably didn't do it the correct way. I know some people are going to say that, oh, you should have peeled the rubber out all in one, peeling it from the inside. Well, there's more than one way to skin a cat. That's just how I do it. You can see I didn't break it, didn't have no issues. But nevertheless, the glass is out. And now we're going to move it outside. We're going to lay it on its back on some sawhorses. And we're going to start some sandblasting. All right. Okay, we had to reposition for a light source and we ran out of sand, so we had to fill up the blaster. But here we go. We're gonna head off again and keep blasting. Okay, we're back at another day working on the wrecker. Before we go taking the bed off, I want to function test everything, see what works, what doesn't work. It's easier to know that now before I take it off. That way, because once the bed is on the truck, you cannot get to any of the hydraulics on it. So if I know what's working, what doesn't now, I can fix it. Then when the bed goes back on the truck, I'll know it all works. I won't have to worry about taking the bed back off to get to none of the hydraulics. We have taken and hooked it up to that truck right there. I can't show the entire truck, but I can at least show that much of it. We have bypassed all of the hydraulics on the wrecker unit. That way we can use that truck's hydraulics and pump and everything to function test the bed. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to see what works, what doesn't work. And that way we know what to fix when the bed comes off, because that's kind of where we're at now while we wait for the sheet metal parts for the cab. You saw we got all that sandblasted. As much sandblasted as I need to sandblast at this point. And so now our next thing is to do the bed. See what works, see what doesn't work. Okay, as you can see, we have taken the hydraulic line, the pressure line off of the pump. It is right here. We have made a line to go around to here. We've taken the return line, hooked it into the return line there. So now all we got to do is fire the big truck up, fire the hydraulics on that function, and let's see what works on this bed. Okay, we've got it all hooked up. Got the truck running. Let's see what happens. Let the flow rate turn way down. That big truck puts out a lot more flow and a lot more pressure than the system's rated for. I don't want to tear anything up. That's pretty good. Winch works. One of the functions do, one doesn't. The out function works, the in function is not doing anything. Could be sticky spot in the valve, could be the clevis messed up. Not entirely for sure. But it's looking like all the functions and everything works. The boom goes way up and way out. I don't know if you can see in that how high up and far out it goes. But works pretty good. We've got a little bit of a mess here, but it is what it is. All right, so we know the bed works. We got to figure out what's going on with the valve on the winch, and other than that, I'd say it's good to go. Put some seals in the cylinders, and there it is. So next thing gonna be, we're gonna pick the bed off of this thing, and we're gonna get a look at see what if and all's wrong with the frame and driveline. So awesome. Next thing to do is pick the bed off. All right, now we're gonna pick the truck up. We're going to find all the bolts and all the attaching points and get this bed ready to pick off of here. We have one hydraulic line to pull, but we'll pull it when we're under the truck. It's the suction line for the pump right over there. We are going to use these lifts. They are rated for big trucks like this one here, but they work just fine on these little trucks, littler trucks like this here. But there's one goes under each wheel. You can't see the other one because it's kind of hidden at a perfect angle behind this one. So anyway, that's where we're at this point. We're going to get this thing picked off the ground. just like that. Now we're ready to get under it. We've got the lift set down on the locks, so it's safe to get under it. Even though these things are rated, each one of these legs are rated for 18,500 a piece. Obviously, we're not picking that much up. Safety first when it comes to stuff like that. Always set them down on the locks. Don't ever get under anything like this unless it is safe to do so. I can't work on this thing if I'm crushed or dead. Anyway, here we are. We're gonna walk around underneath. We're gonna find all of our attaching points, get all them ready. I know I said on the last video that I couldn't show picking the cab off, but where I was at, the only thing we saw was just the forklift. Now down for the crane that we're going to use to pick the bed off, that is very deep into the shop, so I will not be able to video that one, unfortunately. So here we go. Okay, here we go. Our first good look underneath here. There's this mounting plate there. Awesome, not bad to get to. And there's another one back there. Cool, none of it hard to get to. Don't see anything surprising under here. No other mounting locations. Take a walk to the other side. Plate. And plate. Awesome. That'll work. Now we're just going to check to see if there's anything attached to the back of the frame. Nope. And nope. And looks like nope. Cool. We do, however, have a busted spring right there and a cracked weld in the frame there. It explains why the truck was sitting funny. Still not a big deal. I have spare stacks of springs, so that's not gonna be a big deal to fix, and the other is just a matter of straightening it and weld it. So here we are. Now we know what we got to do. We're fixing to get started. Okay, what we had to do there was some supports that went down through that pinched basically the wheel lift down to the truck frame. It wouldn't allow us to be able to pick the bed up or anything. So we had to cut them out. And for some reason, somebody on that side over there has welded the wheel lift to the truck frame, which I believe is why the square that has been cut out in the bed up on the top side, we couldn't figure out what it was. Pretty sure that's what it was. Looks like they have placed something up in top of there, welded it, and they welded the wheel lift to the truck frame on that side. It is not welded on this side, but it is on that side right over there. So we had to cut that stuff loose. We have one more bolt and we're ready to pick the bed. Okay, looks like that's going to be it for this week's video. We have some more next week. Hopefully sheet metal comes in, we can start working on the cab. That bolt right, y'all, was a booger to say the least. It sucked. Had to break out the old hot wrench on it and get them cut off. But the bed, all the bolts are out. Bed's ready to come off. Just out of time. So we'll get going on pulling the bed off next. Hopefully sheet metal comes in. And that's all we got for this week. All right. Like, subscribe if you like it. I'll give her a big old dirty thumbs up. Anyway, that's what we got. Thank you, everybody.